ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world, this is the top builder teams. Now, all 30 aren't here, but you guys want to say hi?
The good ones are here.
The ones that will make it to the end. Hey, people are working right now. That's one thing about Top Builder is like you guys are all doing multiple things all at once. Who wants to talk about their experience with Top Builder first? Just anybody, go for it. We're totally live, by the way. So
I'm on TV, Mom. Hi. I can start. It's honestly been surreal because I'm a 20-year-old college student, and I'm on calls with the CEOs of Bitcoin companies that I use and I look up to, and I'm just sitting there like, wow, this is really happening. The information I'm getting is levels above anything that I've ever thought I would be able to get. And my project has turned into something way bigger than what I thought it could be because of this. And it's been a crazy experience, at least for me.
Yeah. Anybody else want to chime in?
Sure. I'll have a crack at this.
Go first, sir.
All right. Thanks. I think I'm going to say almost exactly the same thing as Blake A. So like our project is probably 1,000 times further along now than it would have been without this Top Builder competition, and doing some of these like workshops and Ask Me Anythings with like some of the best and brightest names in Bitcoin has been just absolutely awesome. And all the support from Pleblab and you all there, absolute like awesome experience.
Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, sure. I think maybe I'm could be the only one that I'm kind of ashamed that I cannot enjoy everything that we could. There's so many things, like so many workshops, so many stuff, and I came from 2 hackathons, which I built from in SatsConf in São Paulo, and then from Legends of Lightning, and then now this one, and I was kind of burned out, and I'm taking it slower because just to get into the end, like slow and steady. But it's really cool because there's lots of great people, and I feel a little bit bad because I cannot do everything there. I cannot keep up with the rhythm everyone is doing, but I'm trying to get to the end like a marathon, slow and steady wins the race, I hope.
Can I interject?
But it's so cool.
Yeah. So I don't think you should feel guilty. So I'm a little spoiled because I'm in Pleblab every day, so I feel the same way sometimes. But I just think that's a testament to what Carr and the team have put together with the way they're adding value. And what I love about what they're doing is it is a builder-centric experience. It feels like a lot of the time with these other hackathons, it's like they make demands on you and you're kind of like their employee. Whereas, with this is a little more like a buffet where you can just take in what you need, and it's not mandatory to do every little thing. I mean, you should be updating things. If you want to win, you got to meet certain criteria, but it is, servant, I always marvel at Carr's servant leadership mindset and the way that he's, really just, giving value all the time. And I think, we need to appreciate that as a community. And I think more people should take Carr's approach.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I'm really dumb. I'm one of the dumbest people in the world. But the thing that I realize is you guys are really, 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 and ladies, really, really smart. And so I just want to keep hanging out with y'all. That's all. That's it. Just want to be your friends. John, how's your experience going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I would say we had set out to build an MVP, it kind of was serendipitous that we got involved in this project around the exact same time we were embarking on a new project. So I think this has helped us think about other stuff that we probably wouldn't have, like marketing and pricing, and it's really helped us with ideation, and just knowing that you have folks that you can ask questions of, and it's give us a bit of a definitely a different lens to see through, to look at our project that we were about to embark on. I think in the past we've pretty much just got stuck into the code and just put the blinkers on. This way, we're trying to be more careful about that and think about it from a business point of view. So it really couldn't have come at a better time for us, because our first offering that we have, the remote app, it's very much a fully open source software project, and was really just our first thing that we wanted to throw out into the Bitcoin community and see what people thought. And we feel like this new project is something that we can maybe turn into a real business. And so we're just super happy to have people that we can ask questions of. We've never had access to this before, so we're feeling very grateful.
Yeah, go for it, John from Coracle.
Yeah, my 2 cents, my comment would be that I think Pleblab and Wolf is like a winning combination. Pleblab understands the builder mindset and what the actual aptitudes of engineers are and what the shortcomings are, and then Wolf swoops in with their insane level of understanding about marketing. Brian's talks have been just fantastic this whole time. He has a really, obviously, very deep understanding, because everything he says is really tight, and they also understand engineers as well, so he can articulate in a way that we can understand. So keep doing it. This is a really good synergy, I think.
Yeah, I think you've hit it right there, John. It's like the best of both worlds, because you get, like, if you really want to go all in on the Bitcoin side, there's that. Then you want to go all in on the VC side, but then there's the middle road where you can do both, and you get two perspectives on it. And I think as builders and as entrepreneurs and startup founders, like, I've learned a lot just by working with Wolf and Brian and that team. They're exceptional at what they do. So grateful that they're sponsoring this and believed in in us executing on it. Cool. Let's jump into teams now. Who wants to talk about their team first? Anybody? Don't be bashful. Don't be shy. Zeus. Go for it, Blake. Yeah, you got to leave early. You got to go to class. Go for it.
I should probably start. So my name is Blake, and I am working on Blitz Wallet. So Blitz Wallet is a self-custodial Bitcoin Lightning wallet that uses the Breeze SDK as the main Lightning infrastructure. And then I also implemented liquid to Lightning swaps using the Bolts API, which was an amazing thing to work with. And my goal with this project is to get people to self-custodial Lightning more easy. And I'm doing that because I'm releasing Blitz Wallet and collecting no fee revenue off of it. It's basically my gift back to the Bitcoin community, because the Bitcoin community has treated me so well that I want to allow people to use Lightning self-custodially, and I'm doing that by making it free. And because it's free, to open a channel, it only costs 2,500 sats right now. And to transact, it's, it can be 0 sats and it can be, 20 sats based on how much you use, but it's usually pretty cheap compared to other self-custodial options. So I'm super excited for people to use it and to get people to spend Bitcoin, because I don't think there's enough spending Bitcoin right now. There's too much holding.
That's awesome. Sorry, I was checking the streams. Blake, you're doing a great job, man. I know you're mining back there in your dorm room. You're gonna show. That's awesome. Cool.
You're on mute, Blake.
You're on mute.
Well, that's okay. I was just talking about my S9, and I originally started as the S9 kid, and now I'm a Bitcoin Lightning wallet kid. So I'm slowly progressing in the right direction.
That's awesome. So proud of you, man. Farscapian, do you want to talk about your project next, Justin?
Yeah, sure. We can address that. So our project, I'm working with Justin Rocket there, the meetup organizer of the Rocket City Bitcoiners. So we've got a couple of meetup organizers that behind this team. Ellen Play, the application is basically a Lightning Network simulation tool, and it's perfect for like meetups or corporate environments or conferences. So the objective basically.
Can you share your screen on your side, Farscapian, or no?
I could. I'm happy to do so. I could show you the website if you'd like, if
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I should have had you do it too, Blake. I just didn't realize if we had the capability or not. But
You don't need to see the my design skills.
oh, there it goes. Cool. There you go. There you go.
So I can bring up the website, but you guys see that. So Ellen Play is just a simulator tool, and we have really been working or focusing our efforts on developing the website primarily. And our objective really is to ensure that people who want to host their own Lightning Network simulation tool based on Ellen Play have all the resources they need to do so. So poor Justin and myself, poor Justin had to sit here through every one of these posts and go through it, 4 or 5 times to make sure that we had everything just exactly the way we want it, and it's repeatable, and it has all the information they need to run your own like Lightning LARP or Lightning simulation type thing. And so now we've kind of finished that piece of the website. We're moving on our focus to Ellen Widget, which is like a cousin or a sister website. And the objective for this one is to provide all the resources someone might need to develop front-end applications against Ellen Play. So the concept basically is that we're going to be at a conference, a developer conference, and people are going to they're going to play the Ellen Play simulation. They'll establish their channels and their liquidity and all of that. And then at the hackathon afterward, they can use Ellen Widget here to start developing front-end web applications against those REST endpoints. And so we're kind of in the thick of it now, trying to wrap up the content here, but we really want to provide just not too much content, but just enough information for people to get started on developing web apps. And part of that is making sure that the Reckless plugin is available to these end users. And so we've had to develop a couple of core Lightning plugins to get this all to work, but it's all coming together. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's kind of where we are at the moment.
And then you guys are going to Bitcoin Plus Plus and then Madeira, right? Do you want to talk about that?
Right. So the Bitcoin Plus Plus is a developer conference in Buenos Aires, and so this is what this website is for. Ellen Widget is that developer conference. I'm hoping that if there are hackathoners that want to use that as a platform to do their development, then they can do so. And they'll receive their connection strings and their rune authorization through the QR code. So we're kind of all just starting from the assumption that, hey, you get this QR code, what do you do from there? And that's kind of how that website proceeds. But so we have, a little bit more time left on this, but we have a couple of other side projects, which I don't know if we want to talk about right now, but it's related to the Bolt 12 Prism stuff and the go-to-market strategy. So during TabConf 2023, we developed ellenplay.live, and this is the marketplace basically where meetup organizers can purchase using Lightning Network an hosted Ellen Play experience. And so we're about to shift our focus back over to this to make sure that by the end of Top Builder, we can enable this buy button and the entire thing is working along with the Prism stuff. So it's kind of a large project with a couple working pieces here, but we're trying to kind of tie it all and bring it all together at the end of the conference. So
amazing. This is amazing. Great job, Farscapian. Come a long way in such a short amount of time too.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't take too much credit. We do have the milestones that we've defined ahead of time, and some of this work, I've been working all past year.
Okay.
So what we've accomplished we've managed to stick with our milestones for the most part. We still need to run through an independent verification validation in preparation for the conference events, but I'm optimistic we'll be able to get that done.
Awesome. That's amazing. Who wants to go next? Also, share your screen too. I think this actually helps much better. Yeah, go for it, Eric.
Okay. Hey guys, thanks, Car. All right. So my name's Eric Alvarez. I'm part of a 2-person team. It's myself and another PHP web developer named Sue. We're developing a WordPress plugin for called Bitcoin Mastermind to easily configure WordPress sites with Bitcoin quizzes and surveys to drive user engagement for education sites or pretty much any website where you think you've got a Bitcoiner audience and they will engage in return for like small Satoshi rewards. So yeah, I'll do a quick screen share. We've got this deployed on a number of sites now, which was our phase 1 milestone, was to get this running on mainnet and deployed on live websites. So we've got it running on a couple of these, and I can show you all how it works. Let me share screen.
Okay.
All right, how do I do that? Here we go.
Yeah.
And entire screen. All right. Screen 1, share. All right. Hey, can you all see my screen and hear me still?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. All right. Cool. So this is our first quiz. Well, it's not our first quiz. Our second or third. I don't know. It's our X number quiz. But it's all working live on mainnet. You get a couple of the rules. Basically, you need a Lightning address in order to participate in these. But if you do have a Lightning address, this is super easy. The backend's either powered by a BTC Pay server or Albi developer access token. So it's really easy to set up. All this stuff is configurable by the site operator. So if they want to reward you 2 Satoshis or 2,000, they can. They want to give you 3 tries, 1 or 3,000, they can. And yeah, so we've got a little quiz going here. Let me enter a Lightning address. Cool. Come on. Sorry, it goes a little slow on screen share. There we go. Okay, and so it saves your Lightning address. You can do some answers to the questions. I invite you guys all to try out the quiz. You can see the URL here. I think I put in Stacker News and a bunch of stuff too. So try out the quiz. Tell us what you think. I'm not going to go through all the questions and give you all the answers, but here we go. Here we go to finish here, and it's going to calculate our score, and it should send us a reward if I got one of these right.
Yeah, I used it the other day. It was cool, man. I got some sats.
Cool. My internet's going slow.
I used it like 10 minutes ago, and I got some sats. So.
All right, guys.
I'm gonna keep using it, Eric, and keep getting more sats. Just kidding.
All right, man. Keep going. I'm looking for the feedback, especially like y'all take the quiz. That's cool. It's super fun trying to like show people from education sites what they can do, or just like anybody. If you got a newsletter or something like that, I'm planning on putting in our newsletter.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
But yeah, and people are looking at it for their podcast notes. They want somebody to fill out a survey for their podcast notes, or I don't know. I just get like all kinds of ideas from people. This seems to be something that people are interested in. Here, I'm not going to go through the whole demo with you all again, but just to show you, like you can also do, and this is what I'm mainly using this for. And I invite anybody who's listening to this stream, or all you guys from Top Builder too, and ladies from Top Builder, take this survey. If you find anything bugs or anything like that, we will reward you in sats for bugs and feedback. And same, when you click finish, you'll get a reward for sending us feedback. So this is how I'm hoping to decide on the next feature to build for the Top Builder competition based on our user feedback.
For the podcast, because this will be a podcast too, Eric, can you tell them where to go?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so for the podcast, you're going to go to velascommerce.com/Bitcoin Mastermind survey to take the survey, and velascommerce.com/Bitcoin Mastermind quiz to take the quiz. So
awesome.
Maybe I can send you a link too for the podcast.
I can drop it in the show notes. Yeah, I can drop it in the show notes. We'll do that.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Awesome.
All right, and thanks you all. I really appreciate it. And yeah.
Eric, I have to say this, man. Having you on Top Builder is like just an energy burst every time I talk to you. So thank you for always brightening up my day, and I'm sure everybody else's. So thank you for
all
that,
right, man.
brother.
Let me shoot that right back to Blake. Blake, it's so fun to see you talk about all this stuff, man. I love your minor too. Good job.
Thank you. Hey, it's how I pay for some meals out. You got to do what you got to do.
Cool. Who wants to go next?
Could I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, Dylan.
Sweet. Okay, let's see. Let's just do entire screen. All right, can you all see the screen?
Yeah. Lunch
Cool.
money.
Cool. So, so I can give a kind of broken demo. It's not fully functioning yet. It's been pretty tricky. You can see from my notes, but it'd be cool to just like show people kind of the idea behind Lunch Money. So basically, what it is like it's a Chrome extension. So if I have like my Chrome extension pop up here, and then I can actually open like an options tab. So this, as you can see here, this isn't like a website. This is all locally on your machine. But I can go in here, I can put in like my personal information. So like my first name, last name, email, age, like zip code. And then over in this one, I can connect to my Lightning node. So I'm just using Polar right now. So I'm trying to do like reg test local testing, but I have my Lightning node connected here. And then in this activity, you can see this is like just basic, some invoicing and like total stats that I have. So now that I'm set up from like the customer standpoint or the user's standpoint, I'm connected to my wallet. So now when I surf to websites, if anybody's used like WebLN before, like it's basically how Alby works. Alby drops like this JavaScript object onto any website that you visit. I actually just forked the WebLN kind of like spec. And so, for example, if I go to a website and this is Lunch Money, lunchmoney.com, but the way it kind of works is when I load this website, the website basically talks to my Chrome extension and it says, hey, can I get all this data from you? Thanks for visiting my website. Can I get all this information that from you if you have the extension? And then the extension says, sure, you can have it if you pay this invoice. So since this extension is connected to my Lightning node, it can generate an invoice and say, if you pay that invoice, I will give you this data. And then basically the website, so this could be any website. This could be pleblab.com. Like it could be any website could implement this and start interacting with people who have the extension installed. And basically they'll say, okay, I asked for this data, this user's data. The user gave me a Lightning invoice, and then I can just pay that invoice. And then the extension will be like, cool, you paid the invoice. Okay, here's the data. So then it drops this kind of information onto the page. And then I can use that information to say, like when a user first lands on my website, they can say like, hey there, Dylan, or like, hey Dylan, it's your data, get paid for it. Or I could, if I'm an e-commerce website and I see that when I pay that invoice, I see that you're a male of 36 years old, I could automatically redirect you to, like, if I'm a shoe company, I could automatically redirect you to men's shoes that we think a 36-year-old male would enjoy, right? And so we can use that data in many different ways to kind of like customize the user experience of the app for a user that's never even visited my website before. They just have the Lunch Money extension installed. And so that's kind of the idea that I'm going after, is kind of connecting websites directly to users who have the extension installed versus trying to like use the Facebook pixel to scrape data from you so that you see ads on Facebook or something like that. So it's still in progress, but that's kind of the idea of where I'm going with this. Whoa.
This is great. Did anybody have any questions? I feel like somebody has a question. No? Okay. That's awesome. Thank you,
Cool.
Dylan. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Go for it, John. Coracle. Oh, you're muted, John. No, you're good.
Let's see. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so Coracle is a Nostr client. I've been working on it for about 1.5 years now, but I have been sort of moving towards adding semi-private or totally private groups to Nostr, which a lot of people say is a bad idea, but I'm going to do it anyway and see how it goes. So I released the first update for groups at the beginning of this year. It was basically unusable until last week, just working out all the bugs. But over the course of Pleblab, that's kind of been my focus, getting the group calendars and group markets working. And I don't think I've mentioned this publicly, but I feel like this live stream is probably about as good a place to mention it as any. But I've been working with Ainsley Costello and her family to
we're big fans over here at Pleblab. Big fans of Ainsley and
to create
what
a
she's doing.
value for value enabled platform for music artists to onboard onto and sort of introduce their fans to Bitcoin and Nostr. So it's kind of an on-ramp for that, but you know, it's pretty well known that the music industry is not kind to the musicians. They don't get paid very well, either by record labels or streaming platforms. Record labels hold all the rights. The artists don't have any. And so this is kind of an effort to put the power back into the hands of the music artists. So if you're interested in that, check out phantompowermusic.io. That's Julie Costello, or the Costello family's brand. And you can see here that if we go to private groups here, once they load up, we've got Phantom Power Music Artists and we've got Nostr Ainsley. So I've been working with Julie to kind of get Coracle up to snuff for all that stuff. There's definitely a lot of work left to do, but that's been my focus lately. So
John,
I'll leave it there unless there's any questions.
John, this is fantastic, man. It's
Isn't
so
it, though?
clean. It is, dude. It's so clean, and good on you for taking the initiative. And I don't know if they reached out to you or you reached out to them, but it's totally needed. They totally need help on that side. So just good on you, man. Being a good ambassador of Nostr and Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, they totally came to me, and it's been like this the whole time. You know, when I started this project, really at the beginning of 2022, I was writing my own protocol by myself, and I was like, this is a 10-year project with a 0% chance of success, but it has to happen, so I'm just going to start working on it. And, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that, like, God is good. He's been so providential, getting me a grant at Fudo, grant with OpenSats. You know, Jack Dorsey showed up shortly after I started, like, onboarded onto Nostr. Pleblab has been awesome. Like, so many things have gone right that I didn't have any control over. So I'm really just amazingly grateful that I get to do this for a living instead of something else.
Blessed, man. You're extremely blessed. Yeah, and thank you to OpenSats and Fudo and Jack and everybody who's helped you along the way. I mean, we're glad we can be a part of it.
I gotta say, I'm proud of you, John. I remember when you were talking about it, you're like, you know, just discovering Nostr, you know, at Pleblab, and how far you've come, man. It's awesome.
You also show your podcast too. I love your podcast.
Yeah.
By the way.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, and thanks, Joe. I so many times I mention Nostr and people just look at me like, either what is that or what do you think you're doing? And yeah, but it's coming along. So, and yeah, my podcast is the Thank God for Nostr podcast. It's an attempt to kind of look at the future of social media through a Christian lens. You know, like, what are people for? What are computers even for? What are the health implications, both spiritual and physical health of interacting with each other in a digital medium? What are the cultural effects? You know, what are the effects on freedom? So it's got a wide net, and but I mean, I spend most of my time just chatting with devs on there and yucking it up. So it's a good time.
Awesome.
John, I'm curious about markets. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so you're thinking like target audience?
No, you have the market
yeah.
tab. I'm just curious about
Oh,
that. I don't
yeah.
I don't know if it's ready for prime time. I was just curious.
Yeah, no, it's there. It's read and write. You can update listings. It's a little slow to load. I got to do some optimization, but yeah, basically markets. And this is something that'll be familiar. Hopefully I'm not stealing Shopster's thunder, but this is the cool thing about Nostr is stuff that people publish to Shopster show up in Coracle and vice versa. So we're operating on the same network, same database. And so, yeah, you just, you can scan through here for stuff that you're interested in buying. You can also open up individual people's profiles if you want to like look at a particular seller and sort down to just market items. And if you want to purchase one of these, you hit make an offer, and it pre-fills a direct message to that person's account. So, there's no escrow or anything like that at the moment.
Can I make a suggestion, John?
I mean, yeah.
I've been playing with vector search lately. I'm about to talk about it. Have you played with it?
Not much.
It basically lets you make numerical representations of language. So it would be cool if you could implement that and make it easier for people to find things to buy. I feel like that would be killer, man, for something like this.
Yeah, search on Nostr is really hard, but I've got some ideas for how we might make that happen in a decent way.
That's awesome. And Derek Ross he's selling it really inexpensively.
Yeah,
just looking at
there you go.
Sick.
Free marketing for Derek's.
I might shoot him a message. Anyways, that's awesome. Cool. Who's next? Thank you, John. That was amazing, man. Congrats on all the success, man. That's amazing.
Up there, hand.
Go for it, Setsus. I think Setsus. Yeah, go for it.
Yes. Okay. First, let me make sure I can screen share here. Okay, there we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Jesus Sinahara, or Setsus, and I am working on Bitscript along with Setburn, who is.
Look at this. Look at this site. Look at this site. Look how amazing this site looks. I mean, right, guys? Like, look at this. Come on. This is so freaking perfect. All right. Sorry.
No, thank you. Just like everyone else here, I'm working on a project at the moment, and I'm happy to say, it's launched. Again, for those not in the know, I'm building a developer platform for Bitcoin. And so if you think like Replit or Remix for Ethereum or any of those train of thoughts, I'm trying to grow the amount of developers that we have in Bitcoin. So half educational, half advanced tooling. And most of you guys have seen the demo already, but I would say the two things that I want to highlight is, we want to help bring engineers up to speed. And the two things that we found people really need to sharpen up on is, one, being able to read raw Bitcoin transactions, right? If you're a CTO or a lead engineer or anything like that on a Bitcoin team, you have to be able to read what a basic raw transaction. And so this is one of the key features that we'd had for a while. You guys can see it parses a transaction literally byte by byte. So you can actually land on actual specific opcodes as you're going.
The design's so clean, man. Good job.
Thank you. And then,
did you do the design, or did you have someone else help you with that?
No, I actually did. I did the design and all the Bitcoin script logic. My co-founder is a full stack developer, so he's the one doing backend, React, et cetera, et cetera. But beautiful. Product design in Bitcoin is me.
That's an interesting combo. I love it.
Thank you. Long story short is we ran a dev agency together for 10 years. So our chemistry is just pretty in flow now. But during those 10 years, for 3 years, we were a product design agency. And so during that time, I sharpened up on a lot of those skill sets. So you guys are able to see things, and now are you guys able to read code? And now this is where we can write script. And so just to show you guys and everyone watching a quick little preview, something we're pretty proud of is two things are happening. As you guys can see, when we're typing in a number, we're actually prepending with op pushes. And so if you guys do any script, you have to, tell the stack that you're about to push data of certain amount of size. This automatically inserted it without us telling it to do it. And then also, again, there are opcodes that work in here already. So for example, if we want to click op add, you guys can see the stack visualizer on the right working with this opcode. And yeah, all of that is dynamic. And yeah, I do want to show one last feature before I get kicked off here. And that is one of the things that one of the paid features is you're going to be able to open a mine transaction, and it'll pull in the SIG script and the pub key script and go line by line and show you how a node would verify it. And so I'm going to pull that up in an example. Here we go.
That's amazing. How many times have we been at BitDevs as Bitcoiners, and they've sat there trying to explain the transaction on a mempool?
I love how visual it is.
Yeah,
that's good.
Thank you. And that I think is going to continue being our moat. Really, is we just want to bring better UX and UI to Bitcoin development than any other team. I will give a shout out Mempool. I think Mempool is the only other team that I look at their design factor and I'm like, you guys are building amazing product. Happy that Mono now follows Bitscript, so hopefully we will talk to them soon. But yeah, we just want our competitive advantage to be design and making sure that the learning curve for the engineers that you guys are bringing onto your team is as smooth as possible. So if you guys are ever in that factor, if you need, to recruit or to train someone else, please give me a shout out. Anyone that's listening, if you want to learn some Bitcoin development, go to bitscript.app. And with that, I will pass.
Well, show the prices, Setsu, so that way people can go and for the podcast, if you can just spell out where to go and all that kind of stuff.
100%. So there's different. So the app is always going to be, well, at least for now, we have that free tier, which anyone can use because again, we want to have development be sort of something that, you don't have to pay for, at least to start to learn. But the 2 subscription packages are Beginner Bob, which has some limited usages on the 2 tools that you guys were seeing here. And then there's the Advanced Alice package. And this is basically anyone who's doing like very active development at the moment. And so we have a couple more features here that we didn't showcase today, such as like offline support, so that you guys can do things without connecting to the internet and like letting some data leak. But yeah, right now, anyone that is an individual can come through, but we're really trying to work with more teams at a time. So if any team is interested, super happy to like talk to you guys. And yeah, we're doing discounts for like combo subscriptions and just trying to make sure that like what we're building is useful to the teams that are using it. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We want to make sure we're staying reactive to what you guys actually need to use. So please don't shy away from reaching out.
Yeah, and go to bitscript.app. That's where you're going to head. And then also just from my perspective, like every Bitcoin company should have at least one membership there. Are you planning on doing like an enterprise version so that way multiple people can log in, or what are you thinking through with that?
So right now we do have an enterprise where like we have 2 teams already where there's like one point of contact and we're managing multiple subscriptions with them. So yeah, exactly.
Perfect. Yeah. So reach out to Jesus if you guys are interested, and definitely you have to see it. If you're listening on the pod, you have to see it. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And you can tell there's just a lot of wonderment, man. That's what I love about it. When I first saw it, I was just like, wow, like this should exist, and I'm glad that you're building it in any way I can help. So
thank you. And yeah, thank you for the time, Car. Thank you for everything that you do. And yeah, happy to pass on the mic.
Yeah. I think Breno wanted to go next.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to, because I talked with Jesus and it's amazing. Like we think so much alike, and what we're building is so complementary to each other. I believe that it's kind of a great coincidence. And actually, I've known Bitscript for months already. So yeah, let me share what I'm doing. I'm doing Code Satoshi. This is a spin-off of Spirit of Satoshi. I work on Spirit of Satoshi, and I had this idea. I went to a hackathon and I went there and I built something to some AI to help Bitcoiners code. Miniscript specifically on this hackathon, but the idea is that we should be able to use Copilot and GPT-4 and stuff like this with any kind of Bitcoin related code, because today we can't. If you go there and try to make a script in ChatGPT, GPT-4, something like this, you cannot. It doesn't understand what you're doing. By the way, are you looking at, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's showing.
You can see it.
Okay.
Also, everybody, we can go over if you haven't presented yet. We don't have to stop at 2, so we can just keep going the stream. If you guys are comfortable with it, I'm cool with it too. All right. Sorry, Brandon, go for it.
No problem. So yeah, the idea is to help with AI, the developers, and also people that want to learn and understand, to try to use Bitcoin, more technical stuff. For example, once I tried to issue something in Elements, in Liquid Elements, trying to issue some token, and I couldn't. I just could after I talked with Pablo, who is a developer in Blockstream, and we spent there like 2 hours together, like solving how can I do this, and it was crazy difficult. There's not that, it's not great documented and stuff like this. So what we are doing, we are putting this into an AI, so you can easily see. So if you ask here, okay, what metadata is needed to be linked during asset issues in Liquid? So it you can ask here, and it will take some time. So I already did some of those, so it's all here. We don't need to go through all, but it's here. So it answers, and you can ask something about this. Okay, what is actually a ticker? What is a reissuance token amount? And you can go deep, and also there's the links to documentation, to knowledge base in the community Liquid. There's lots of different ways to search Liquid, Blockstream, community. There's so you can, it's very, it's much easier way to access everything. This is for the Liquid Techno Assistant. So another question here, what is a blinded signature? So it explains here. I can ask to dumb it down so we can understand it better. And also we can do this in Spanish. Como empezar a instalar elements. And it's now you have the documentation in Spanish. There are some people that are people in Blockstream told me that they have some people asking, trying to do this, but in China they don't know much English, so they could try this in Mandarin. And I never tested in Mandarin because I cannot see if it's good enough, but I know Spanish well enough to see that this is good. But this is the technical assistant for Liquid. The first one that I actually told you about already is the code assistant, the code Satoshi for Miniscript. So this is actually a query that Blockstream asked. Okay, write a multi-sig Miniscript policy for 11 of 15, which is the federation. So it gives here the Miniscript policy, it gives the Miniscript code, and also the Bitcoin script. It compiles the Miniscript policy that is generated by the AI, compiles into Miniscript code and Bitcoin script. There is also spending cost analysis, and also this is very small, but here is this is a flow chart, so you can see actually what's happening. If I go to another one, for example, this one, write a multi-sig 2 out of 3 that turns into 2 out of 4 after block 1,000,000. So this is the policy. It compiles automatically into the code and into Bitcoin script. There's the cost analysis of what this would cost. This is an explanation of what it does, and there's a flowchart that is also, it's deterministic. It's not, the flowchart is not generated by AI, so it's not. This is not an hallucination. This is exactly this. So you can see here. So you need 2 out of 4. So you can use 2 keys out of this 3, but after this block you can also use this key as well. So it's 2 out of 3, and it becomes 2 out of 4 after this block. So this is also this is why I thought it's so complementary to Bitscript, because we are also working in UX somehow, but in another aspect. He is working something that he can you can build and you can visualize in with motions and stuff like this for scripts. And we're trying to build AI that you can talk to code. So you can ask, for example, here, what is a hash lock? What is a hash lock, and how can I create one in Miniscript? So here's an explanation of what is a hash lock. This is all the functions that you can use to build a hash lock. This is a policy for the hash lock, and this is the flowchart that shows what a hash lock is. It's basically you have a key and a hash, so you can spend. So, and you can break the code into smaller chunks, and you can visualize in multiple different ways. You have the a flow chart where it's much easier visualized. And this is, of course, just the beginning. We did this for Miniscript, and we did for Liquid to help people use their nodes properly. And we are now getting a membership as a Liquid Federation, so they can help us even improve best the Liquid assistant as well. So yeah, this is what we are doing, and if any of you want to try, you know Miniscript, you work with Miniscript, you work with Liquid, and you want to try to see if this solves the problems that you have day to day, please get in touch with me. It's Breno RB in Twitter, and we can make a testing, and could be really fun.
Thank you, Breno. And just for the podcast, codesatoshi.com.
Exactly.
Okay.
Codesatoshi.com.
Cool. And I think Jim, you wanted to go next?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to share your screen on your side? So Jim's sitting right next to me, but he's working on Cascader. And let me see. Are you in the thing though? Oh, you are. Okay, cool. Go for it.
Okay. All right. So what's up, guys? My name's Jim. I'm working on an application that kind of marries AI, Nostr, and Lightning. And I worked on the Bolt.Fun hackathon. I actually remember competing against some of these guys. Great projects. I'm working on an application that lets you kind of use Bitcoin services, or so L402 Lightning paid APIs in a modular way, lets you combine them. So we have, in this case, it's kind of like Zapier. It lets you kind of string things together, so you can do something like, take a ChatGPT request and use that to make a higher quality text to image prompt. You can also do something like, take an image and then figure out how much you can sell it for in Bitcoin, just little things like that. And you can also use, so I think that, basically when it comes to AI, we have basically two options. We can figure out how to put the values behind Bitcoin behind it and make, a good future, or we can have like a dystopian hellscape where, very few people control this technology. So, part of this is just my own kind of vision quest to figure out how to master these tools and make sure that, I can, kind of develop this technology and keep it in line with, our ethics as Bitcoiners. And I see that other people are doing that too, like the Code of Satoshi guys. I know that, like, I don't know if John talks about it, but I see, in him, he's got really good. He's just a really good dude, and he's kind of putting his ethics behind Coracle. I'm kind of in the same ilk, doing the same thing but with AI, and I think that Lightning presents such an interesting opportunity because, number one, like, it's just it's like the difference between it's so much more agile than the incumbent technology of credit cards, so it's more agile. You can pay for what you use. You can pay less. There's lower transaction fees, all that. So there's opportunities there. And then also just it's private. It's making the internet what it should be. You can just send a payment. It's pretty good privacy. Obviously, you have to have good OPSEC still, and we'll shepherd people towards better OPSEC. But I just think it's really critical that we do that. So one of my favorite things is very simple. You can just use these in a you can use them each of these services individually, and I can, ask questions to ChatGPT, and it's not tied to my identity. It's going through someone else's ChatGPT API key. So, built this site. This has kind of been out there for a while. Just last night, I shipped a new service. It's a YouTube agent. So I actually took like a hour-and-a-half podcast, Jimmy Song with Carr on Thriller Bitcoin. Great podcast. Check it out. Shameless plug. But basically, you just dump in this YouTube this YouTube link, and you can write an article about it or get a summary. And I'm just thinking of other ways we could do things. Even just now, this is one of the things I love about Top Builders. I'm in competition with the other contestants, but I'm also thinking about how we could help each other. For example, I was looking at Eric's project, and I'm thinking about like I could probably take a video and then make a quiz for him to dump into his application. Just other cool stuff that you can do with this. So I've been playing around with vector search and embeddings and a lot of these mathematics that kind of do these interesting NLP applications, and I'm really excited about it. So that's been an area of focus recently, and just kind of creating a few killer apps around AI that use Lightning. So that's been my focus the last week or so. I met with Carr and kind of talked to him about what types of things that he'd like to see and what other creators in the space would like to see to help them get productivity gains. And I also shipped I haven't shipped it yet. I'm about to submit a StartOS application that lets you just attach to your LND node and then put in your ChatGPT API keys, and it'll actually run like queries through that. So it kind of expands the supply, and it does it in a total custodial private way. So to the point where it's you're expanding the network and you're increasing the anonymity set. So we're kind of screwing up ChatGPT's whole game of trying to profile people, because we're going to have a decentralized network of plebs stacking sats for using these API keys and laundering requests. Basically, it kind of messes up their panopticon. So I think Lightning creates a great, and Bitcoin in general just creates a great opportunity to kind of fight back against the surveillance economy, and that's something I'm passionate about.
Patriot. Did you put Pierce Brosnan right there at the top? That's awesome.
I don't even know this guy's name. He's James Bond.
Yeah,
right?
Pierce Brosnan. That's
He's
amazing.
an agent. He's
that's
an agent.
Awesome.
Dude. Yeah. Anyway,
that's funny.
Cool. I like the little widget I made here. It's like black and white. I didn't even intend to do that, but it's got like a little James Bond up there.
So if anybody wants to check it out, where do they go?
It's cascader.vercel.app. It's open right now. Each one of these runs costs like 25 cents. There is some computational power behind it. 25 cents. It's in sats, and there's some pretty cheap.
But are you thinking through other payment options right now, or what are you?
Yeah, I'm thinking about just I think it's going to be tough to just only focus on Bitcoiners. I think that's going to be my initial market, but I'm eventually going to add some ways to do things through fiat. I also think Bitcoiners aren't going to want to spend their Bitcoin coming shortly. They're just going to want to hang on to that. So, but I think just as a proof of concept, Lightning is the best rails that you could use. I mean, it's seamless, and experimenting with AI and figuring out, how all these agents work and how we can actually from a fundamentals level build them. Because I think a lot of people are getting excited about the prospect of agents, but they're not really building, the fundamental building blocks that are necessary to do that. So I've been experimenting with that and how to make programmatic workflows and actually use them in a way that's flexible and capable for a machine to figure out, how to do things.
Yeah.
So those are the three areas I've been focused on.
Awesome. It's amazing, Jim. Yeah, that's awesome. You've gotten all this done in such a short amount of time. Who wants to go next? I know we've pretty much had almost everybody. Oliver from Jippy.
Cool. I can go next.
Yeah.
Hi guys, I'm Oliver, founder of Jippy. Let me share my screen. So let's do this right now. We're Jippy. You can find us on jippy.app online, and Jippy is an interactive education app, and it exists to help beginners earn and learn about Bitcoin with others. The problem set is really building an accessible, friendly education app for the masses. It's really the education app I wish I had when I was being orange pilled in 2020. And just to go to some problem sets here, there was a 2021 study done by The Economist that said that 51% of people reported that a lack of knowledge is the main barrier to Bitcoin ownership. We all know that Bitcoin education has come a long way, but it's still not perfect. Especially around making content that isn't necessarily essay-based, that doesn't take thousands of hours to complete, many videos. It takes a vast amount of time from people. So we really want something accessible and entry-level to folks. There's a post here on Stack and News asks a similar question, which is, how would you rate the current state of Bitcoin education? 43% said fair, and then 33% said poor or very poor. So we have a fair amount of work to do in this space, and this is where I think Jippy could potentially add a lot of value to the education space. I can give a very quick demo. So here is the app. One of the core elements here is social learning, and so when you join Jippy, you join a tribe, which is a collection of Bitcoiners that is scoped to a city, for example, Austin Bitcoiners here in Austin. And the role of the tribe is to meet regularly, which is facilitated by a tribe head. You meet online for a gathering, and a gathering is rather like a Twitter space or a Clubhouse room. And so you join this gathering, and
Jippy, Oliver can't see the app. Yeah, thanks for saying that, Eric.
Dang it, thank you.
Yeah, just before you kept going.
I was live and gets good feedback. I'll put it up to the side.
Okay, let's see here.
There we go.
All right,
So
we'll see you later, John.
I'm assuming you can see this.
I think all we see is just the Notion page still.
Okay. Gotcha. 1 second. This Jitsi screen sharing is still trying to be optimized. Let's try this again. Okay.
Take your time.
Yeah, sure. It might only be doing the browser window, which is weird.
But so far, man, I'm just so impressed. Just with everybody, it's so amazing to see you guys just grow in what, like 2, 3, 4 weeks. It's just impressive. Iron sharpens irons, an understatement. But you guys are like pushing each other to the limits. Are you able to share it, Oliver, or is it one of those things where it's just like a weird? This is one of the things I've learned though. Like we're gonna invest in some like better software. So I think there's this really expensive piece of software that I'm gonna have to get. Oh, dude, can you give me some coffee? Is there any coffee or no? Yeah. So just because like this kind of stuff, like we've just noticed, me and Logan behind the scenes, like we can do a lot better. So thank you all for being patient with our, unprofessional setup here. So.
I am trying to share, and if it's not coming through now, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay, well, just show the website, Oliver, and then we can.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
So you can find us jippy.app, and
yeah, that website looked good anyway. That guy was levitating. It was kind of cool.
Thank you. Yeah, pretty happy with it. It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
If you just scroll to the bottom, you can get a really quick preview about what it looks like. But earn sats when you complete a path, which is a course. Paths are supposed to be accessible, and then connect to tribes when you join. So that's what the app looked like. I would have showed a live demo if it was coming through.
No, it's okay.
But that's a little preview there.
I would say too. Me and Oliver are talking about doing like a Jippy launch party, maybe during that week of South by. We'll see though. But that would be a lot of fun. Do like a launch party here in town and get everybody come over and onboard 100 users or something. Who knows? We'll see. It should be fun though. Cool. Thanks, Oliver. I appreciate it. Who wants to go next? Francisco, go for it. Go for it.
Who's gonna go, Peter or me?
You can go first. I think Peter was short on. You raised your hand first, but.
Can you guys hear me? Good.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can't see your screen. I can't see your screen, but I don't know if you want to share.
I haven't. Yeah, I'll share a part of my screen in a second. I'll just do a quick intro. Okay. So my name is Francisco. I was born and raised in Mexico City. I'm building Yopaki out of both Austin and Mexico. My co-founder, CTO, Carlos, is a former Bull Bitcoin senior developer who is full-time in Mexico. And just a quick story, once upon a time, we thought we would just build an exchange that would be Bitcoin only. Mexico has a lot of altcoin options. So we figured it would be ideal because of our Bitcoin maximalist beliefs to be the ones to enter the market. Little did we find that, and we actually got together exactly a year ago, or it'll be a year ago this coming March. The types of regulations and challenges we have to go through have been crazy. But once we made the progress, we realized that there's two camps in terms of the Bitcoin companies that have a product or a build, which is the technology aspect. It exists. There's amazing technology, amazing platforms, and there's always new stuff coming out. And then you have the education part, which institutions like Mi Primer Bitcoin has really pushed out of El Salvador into different parts of the world. And it seems that over the last year and a half, those two have really merged. So there's a lot of education and technology being available to most users. But one thing we found out is that even with that, there's not a lot of users. What I mean by that really is just normies, right? So our thesis is that by introducing an additional layer, we'll be able to onboard without having to explain all of decentralization and finance and banking and why Bitcoin. That'll be eventually. So that thesis that we have is unlocking Bitcoin through culture. So right now we're actually redesigning the website, but if you go to our website, just let me share my screen real quick. I'm actually, yeah, it's not working, but I'll go to the demo. So there's I don't know if anyone listening is familiar, but I would imagine that most people, at least in the Western world, is familiar with a game called bingo, right? Where you draw different numbers, and the person that gets rows or the person that gets the entire board wins a prize. So the origins of this bingo actually go back centuries. Originally, this was used as a loteria game back in Italy in the 14th century, later pushed into Spain. Spain adopted it to the royals for centuries up until they conquered Mexico. And it was still played in Mexico for centuries just for the royals. During the independence in the 19th century or in the 18th century, that's when it was introduced to soldiers. And after this, that's when everybody started playing it. Fast forward, once most people in the region started getting entrance into the Catholic Church, the church itself used it as well. So loteria, instead of using just numbers for bingo, they use images. And these images can be really anything. So one of the things we are adopting into our version of loteria is onboarding users onto Bitcoin with some of the fun memes that we use or some of the characters that we have been using. And can you guys see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. So before we really jump into the neobank aspect of our business, our offering really is: can we onboard grandma? Can we onboard my aunt, my neighbor, my sister, and just have them, have a good time? So again, instead of just explaining what everything is behind Bitcoin, I can just say, hey, let me show you real quick. There's something really fun that, it'll take you 5 seconds to download. So we go into our app. And right now we are running, this is running off of Figma, but we have users on test flight right now. I can share links with anyone from the crowd if you're interested. And the way it works is every matching card will give you 100 sats. Every row gives you 1,000 sats, and every column gives you 500 sats. Now, the idea of doing the loteria is using traditional loteria cards and then mixing it with the magic of Bitcoin. So for example, we have a board here. Each user gets a unique board. So all of us will have a different board. However, a new card gets drawn every 12 hours. Looks like we have this matching card. This one is called a Niet Fiat, which most Bitcoiners would know. So since it's a card that I have, I automatically get 100 sats, and there's a short description of what it is. This is a reminder that you need to be moving away from fiat currencies and into hard money like Bitcoin. So the magic behind this really comes when, after I have my sister or my neighbor or any normie play say, hey, congratulations, you just earned your first Bitcoin. And then open that mindset of, wait, what do you mean? Yeah, I mean, it's not a whole Bitcoin, but it's a fraction of a Bitcoin. It's called sats. Oh, what is that? And that's where the process would start, right? So we're using this bridge. Just, again, statistically speaking, in Latin America, 99.9999% of people know what this game is. Our thought process in this would be that every Bitcoiner should have this, right? So let me show you another example of what happens. Every 12 hours, you get a notification. Hey, a new card has been drawn. Check to see if you got it. There's times if you get a card and you don't claim it, you missed out on 100 sats. Probably people recognize this one right now. If you're just listening instead of watching, there's a funny card of the guy holding the McDonald's hat. It's called El Job and McDonald's, which resonates.
Dude, these cards are so amazing. Like they're so freaking good, dude. Oh my gosh, they're so good.
They're fun.
For people that people are listening, like, yeah, definitely check it out. Check out the stream because it's worth it. They're so clean.
It's counter clown.
Thank you, Clark. Yeah, I know you've been a big supporter of this. So one of the things, and we cannot reveal yet who, but we've been actively talking to a few companies that could have an interest in additional sponsorship. So this Loteria right now, the Genesis version is a set of 54 cards that will be rotating over the next couple of months. But obviously, the more users we onboard, the bigger the opportunities we could have to create different partnerships or discounts, or let's say even right now, right, for Top Builder, if we can push some of the additional companies that are trying to make a splash in the space, have their own specific card running for a week or two or for a month. So, I mean, this is just the beginning of what we envisioned the game to be. In terms of the sats being withdrawn, we are using Zebedee's API for that. Up until a month ago, we were facing a few challenges for the jurisdiction, but we received notice from Zebedee that we're good to go in all the regions that we're going to be available. So if you haven't signed up, it's a great opportunity before full launch. You can get on the list right now, yopaki.com. I think as of last week, we surpassed 2,400 people on the wait list.
Wow, so, that's amazing.
It's exciting. We're waiting to see if all those 2,400 really downloaded, but that'll be the next phase of. I guess I gotta stop sharing my screen here.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Francisco. You didn't show it on there, but there's some other really cool sticky stuff. Well, like, can you explain that? That's a part of the app.
You mean the cards themselves, or some of the animations?
Animations. The animations.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so the animations, it depends on the card again, and that's why we mentioned the potential partnerships could be pretty amazing. Based on, it could be a lightning, it could be confetti, it could be an explosion. If that's what you're referring to. Okay.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for adoption, especially like in Latin America and stuff like that. That's the stuff that'll resonate with those individuals.
It's friendly. Yeah, I mean, again, we'll be proven on this thesis, but in our eyes, there's no reason why every single Bitcoiner wouldn't have this, and then beyond, right? Any normie who is just interested in playing a game that is well known and has been proven for centuries, we're adopting it into the space.
Yeah, I think the other thing too is like when you did the Yopaki event last year in September, and we were talking to normal people, and we would ask them like, what do you use to buy Bitcoin? And they showed us like the Bitso crypto app and Coinbase and like all these little, like, these crypto apps, and there was not one Bitcoin app, and I was just like, what? Just didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're really excited. Go sign up, yopaki.com.
Cool. Who's next? Peter. Yeah, go for it, Peter.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My network is not too good. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so sadly, I won't be demoing, but let me talk about our app. Our app is called BTC Collateral. So it's a marketplace for loans whereby users and where people can be able to go borrow using their Bitcoin as assets for collateral and then obtain fiat loan. So anybody could actually be a lender or a borrower. I've got it's just freaking some sort of terminal. I'm just going to demo. So what the approach we have taken to build the app is to build it from using a domain driven approach whereby we build out all the core functionalities, and then after the core functionalities are done, then we turn into the UI UX and then build out the UI UX. So far we could be able to generate an address, be able to send transaction to that address, be able to generate a transaction that's spent from that address. So what I just printed out here is a PSBT transaction that the user can be able to spend from that part, from the transaction that is spending when you have. Sorry, I'm speaking too fast. So when you have a transaction that locks the asset into the 2 of 3, for you to be able to redeem that transaction, 2 of the parties need to sign. So we just completed the aspect that spent from that 2 of 3 multi-sig address, and this is a PSBT transaction that we completed. So the next phase of it is going to be that we are going to build out the UI UX. So sorry, apologies that we cannot demo at this time, but that is what we are working on.
That's amazing, Peter. So proud of you, man. Look at this.
Thank you.
You're so organized too. Do you guys have any questions? Jesus, did you see anything there that you thought was cool?
Yeah, so this is just we're using GitHub projects to be able to manage our project. We did with the introduction. We started with the introduction. Sorry, my network is a little bit bad. Yeah, so we listed out the problem we are solving, the approach we are using, and then we keep refining as we get more ideas. And then we are building out the core functionalities, testing them out properly. And then once we know that it's actually good, then we can build out the UI UX. Yes.
That's fantastic. Has anybody been able to help you here inside of Top Builder to complete any of these tasks? Or
Yeah. So when I spoke with Toffa, the session we had with Toffa, he gave me a great advice regarding the aspects where we're concerned with the value of Bitcoin going up and down and not being stable. So he asked us to consider that a user is giving us Satoshis. So we can actually just look at it in terms of Satoshis. The value, the number of Satoshis hasn't changed. So it's the value, and even if the users hold the Satoshis themselves, they know that the value could go up or down. However, another approach we could take is to add certain amount to the amount that they are borrowing in BTC, so that if a user is borrowing 50, we could actually calculate an insurance, a percentage of insurance amount and add it to that to have something greater, so that even if it goes down a little bit, you can still be able to get a good amount back to the user, to the borrower.
And Peter, can you because when we first met in the initial interview process, you told me that there was a reason why you built this. Can you tell people where you're from and why you built it and why you're mission driven on it?
Okay, so I kind of missed the part of the question, but if I understand you, the reason why we are building this, so the major reason is we understand that their lending institutions don't quite understand Bitcoin, or most of them don't know how to interact with Bitcoin. However, they have a great market that Bitcoiners might want to get money from, fiat money, quick money to spend, and Bitcoiners don't want to lose their Bitcoin, to sell their Bitcoin to fiat to use them. So we are providing this platform that brings the lenders and the borrowers together to be able to interact. And once they agree with the terms, that the lending terms, they can be able to take fiat loans, and then use their BTC as collateral, which will be locked in a 12-3 multi-sig. So which means the two parties can be able to, once they agree, they can be able to unlock their Bitcoins, and after it's been completed, if there is any issue, the service could come in with one of the keys and settle with the right party. So that is the main idea that we are building out.
That's awesome. Love to see
I think that's great. I think the potential on that's awesome.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
I said I think the potential of that is great.
Okay.
I like that a lot. I could see using that with my own clients for microloans. You know, I'm in finance and all that, and tools like this spot on for what I'm looking to do. I'd love to look into it to integrate it possibly in the point of sale.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Peter. That's amazing. Who else hasn't gone yet? I think just you, Doug, right?
Just me.
How are you doing today, Doug?
Well, I'm getting a little scruffy because I've been sitting at the desk too long.
You getting any more tornadoes over there? Or you doing pretty good?
No, it's been quiet. We're actually experiencing our normal Charleston winter, which is just 50 degrees and rain.
Nice. I love those guitars. Every time I see them, I just want to pull one right out and start playing it.
Me too. I've actually lost all my calluses because I'm just doing this stuff.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let's talk about Alpaca.
Let's see. So, all right. So Alpaca is a business management software. It was originally designed as a point of sale specifically for retail. So as a point of sale, it was just doing transactions at the counter.
Doug, can you share your screen on there or no? Can you share a little bit?
I'm going to.
Okay, cool.
And let me just pick out which one it is. All right, here it is. Okay.
So
all right.
nice.
Do y'all see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the point of sale originally it was just for transactions, just for cash and carry sales. People would buy their stuff out the door and they're done. About October of this past year, we built invoicing functionality, so we can actually do aged receivables. So people can actually do terms for business-to-business sales. So that kind of changed our market. You know, we're a live product, and this has been I've been building this for a while now, and basically, you know, version 2, which is this redesign, came out in October. That does invoicing now. But what we've been doing along the way, so not just counter sales and invoicing, is just putting in more and more Bitcoin functionality in it. And so basically, you know, data can be input in several different ways. You can touch the screen. You can click your products that you're selling. You can use a barcode scanner. You can type in the products. So, you know, if I'm not sure what's in this database. This is let's see, we'll sell some plates, and all the data you can manipulate, like I said, multiple different ways. We do this for ease of use for the cashier, so they need to be able to put in products and sell stuff as quick as possible, get them in and out the door, the customer. And but besides sales functionality, we do quotes, we do invoicing. We can send invoices with ePay that has both credit cards and Bitcoin as the payment method. We can sell Bitcoin out of here using Azteco. We can implement pretty much any kind of Bitcoin payment functionality in here. And so I've got right now enabled Ibex Pay, Zebedee. I had LM Bits, but we're troubleshooting that. We upgraded and got an error on it, so I took it out. But, you know, just to sell, you know, I'll click Ibex Pay, generates the QR code. If I click Zebedee, does the same thing, generates the QR code. Once you pay it, it closes the receipt, person walks out the door. But if you are looking to invoice stuff, and so you do net terms or even same day terms, but you want to send somebody an invoice, we'll send it via email through the same screen. And you'll get an email like this with a hashed link in it that will then bring up an invoice where you can, you know, review what you've purchased. enter a credit card or do it by Bitcoin, or bank transfer, or whatever payment method that the store owner wants. And but the goal here was to put as much Bitcoin functionality in here so that if I get somebody that's going to take this as a business product and use it in their store, the orange pilling for Bitcoin comes after the fact. I'm not trying to orange pill them during a sale. I'm just trying to get the system in there and then show them that, hey, Bitcoin's superior, and this is the reason why. But also, we can do so much more in marketing for you through the Bitcoin communities to say, you know what, if you're in Charleston, you're a mulch company, you want to take Bitcoin, I can now advertise this to all of Charleston, to the Charleston Bitcoin community. You know, we've got 500 members, and show them, hey, support this business. They're taking Bitcoin. And yeah, so that was a lot of the functionality that we've done the past couple of weeks, specifically for this, was we merged the web view with the mobile view to get this look that we have right now. And we had it on 2 different rails at one point, where the web browser view was more of a pure HTML, CSS, JavaScript, where we redesigned the UI for this wireframe look that we've got now. So it's consistent through mobile, Android, iOS, and a web browser.
And this also, this works on Android too, right? Because you have people in El Salvador. Can you talk a little bit about that?
So it's not a native app. It just uses wrappers, iOS wrapper and an Android wrapper. And but the app, you know, it's a standalone app. You just it builds an instance in the background. That process is not automated yet. We still have to do some hand holding. It takes about a half hour to do a spin up per customer. But at some point we'll do scripting, so we can actually offer it on, say, the app stores or whatever, and have it spin up an instance on their own. There's costs involved, so we have to figure out the subscription, how we're doing the billing and all that. So that's a work in progress.
And where can people go to check that out, Doug?
AlpacaRMS.com is the one right now. One day I'll probably redesign this thing because it's kind of a mess right now. It's been simplified a lot, but this is the website currently. And let's see, we're redesigning. I'll be recording some YouTube videos that show usage. It's like a 20-minute deep dive of all the functionality, as well as like a 2-minute quick video showing helicopter view of the software.
Yeah, I will say for people who are listening, Doug came to the last startup day and literally had Chef Johnny Ochoa up and running in like under 60 minutes with Alpaca. That was really cool to see, and I think he made a boatload of money that night. So
the system's capable, so it'll
in a pinch you can just get up and running pretty fast.
Yeah. So it really just depends on who you want as the back end for the Bitcoin provider, whether you're going to be self-sovereign and do it yourself, or if you're going to use a third party like Ibex or Zebedee or whoever. If you do it yourself, you're probably on Tor, so your QR codes are a little slower. So you have to be patient with that. But if you're using a third party provider like Ibex or Zebedee, you're going to get instant QR codes.
Cool. I think Derek has a question.
Yeah, hey Doug, I just was wondering, do you have any plans to add Bolt 12 to like your checkout and invoicing system?
Probably at some point. It's on the to-do list, but I'm not sure where on the to-do list. We've got our issue list right now is 200 deep, and so we're trying to balance priorities as well as new features. I've got this at 30 customers right now. That were my previous point of sale customers that I've been able to port over the last year. And so I want to make sure that they're happy with the software, they're comfortable with it. And so new features, I'm trying to spread the wealth, I guess, of our resources. And so one of the next things, the Bolt 12 thing I do like, but I also, Moritz had mentioned doing the Noster Connect, the web connector in WC. And I'm actually looking towards that for the reality here is I have to charge for this. There will be an open source version of it. But for my paying clients, we're probably going to give different options for payment. And the NWC connector will allow us to do like streaming sats over time. So if we say we're going to charge, let's just say we charge $100 for a year's use, and we put whatever the stats are for that point, we can stream that as income into the system as they use it. So it would actually be a value for value. So, they're only paying for when they use it, as opposed to, a one upfront annual fee. So yeah. The to-do list is long.
It always is. That's just,
yeah.
That's good.
And then,
you have a lot of work to do. That's great though.
Yeah. So we, everything in the system is basically, it's all lists in the back end. So, if you guys comparing it to your products, or you've got these really nice, clean interfaces, you're not going to find that here. The reality is the data is what is important to my store owners. And they want to see this data. They want to see if they have open invoices. They want to see their balances owed. But as far as cleanliness of the screen, it's about as simple as it gets. It may be able to be presented in a different format, but my customers that are using this every day need this data that's showing here. So they want to know how they were paid. They want to know if any open work orders are there. They want easy access to forms that are attached to the invoices. So if I want to look at a work order receipt, if I want to edit their invoice, all of this is in the same format. Same for customers.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff we're cleaning up too. So like there's all these documents here. We're going to be compacting into one view, as opposed to having one bucket for each type of document. And yeah, so that's kind of where we're at.
Awesome. Thank you, Doug. That's amazing. Anybody else want to present anything? I think we went through everybody. Anybody else out there? No? Okay. Doug, can you do me a favor, since I can't share my screen because I'm live streaming this? Can you go to topbuilder.dev just so I can talk about this real quick, and then we'll sign off after that. But this is Top Builder, presented by Wolf. And if you scroll down, Doug, there's we started with over, I think it was 7,000 people attempted to do the sign up initially, and then we got it down to like 70. Then I interviewed over 40, and then we went down to 31. I was one shy of 32. That's what I wanted to do. But out of those 31 teams, I think we're down to 29 teams. 2 people have already dropped off because it's just, it's a lot. So we're going to get down to 15 teams on Friday. And then on Saturday, we'll live stream in the morning and announce those teams. I will say this, though, out of the 29 teams that are left, it's extremely hard to go through these. So I love all of y'all. This is like, it's going to be the hardest thing. I'm going to do this year probably is going to be getting down to one team. So just know in advance. But so we'll do that. Also, Doug, can you go to Startup Day? There's that link there at the top. So with that, we're going to be doing Startup Day. That's happening here at the Bitcoin Commons Pleblab during South by Southwest on March 14th. One of these 5 teams, one of these 20, 30 teams is going to be winning this. And we're going to bring the 5 teams to, if you scroll down, Doug, we're going to bringing those 5 teams to Austin, and there's going to be speaker panels. There'll be announcements. Keep going down, Doug. We also have Andre from Zebedee. He's going to be doing the keynote. So he's going to be looking to inspire all of y'all. We have some speakers and some judges and some CEOs and founders that are going to be giving some great advice. We have the Wolf team coming to as well. If you keep scrolling down, Doug, we also have an event day where there's going to be announcements from some startups here locally and afar that are going to be doing some major announcements. So that'll kick off like around 9:30, and then we'll have panels. And then at 1:30ish, 2 o'clock-ish, we'll do the Top Builder competition where those 5 teams will present in front of everybody, in front of a live audience. And and then after that, we'll have a happy hour, and then that'll lead to Bit Devs that evening where Justin Moon, Buck Purley, and Ben Carmen will announce the Top Builder. So it's gonna be a full day, and then I think Wolf is putting together a happy hour afterwards. So we'll go party with the Wolf Pack, and we'll live it up on in Austin. So it's gonna be a full day. If you scroll down, Doug, there's a little bit more. You scroll down. We have startup day passes. Obviously, if you win this thing, and if you're brought in here, yeah, you'll come in for free and all that stuff. But let's do startup day passes, $129. If you want the limited drop Pleblab t-shirts, we don't release Pleblab t-shirts very often, so this will probably be the second ever Pleblab t-shirt we make, and we'll never make it again. So if you guys want that, get the $149 ticket, and then yeah, sponsored by all these amazing people, and yeah, we're gonna do it. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending this builder thing. You guys have any last words? Any last words from anybody?
Thanks for all your work, Car.
No, thank you. I appreciate everything you guys do. You guys make this job real easy. There's so many incredible projects, and I just can't believe just how many of y'all have just like just wowed me. Not only today, but just every day with y'all's hard work. And I love the fact that you guys are all helping each other. That's the same thing that we have here at Pleblab, here in the hackerspace, where everybody helps each other with their projects. And it's cool to see that happen with all of y'all. So iron sharpening iron. This is the way. All right, y'all. We're going to end it right there.
Thanks, Car.
Thanks, y'all.